How you doing? It's Dan here at J&D Gardens. If you're a new viewer, welcome. Please support the channel by planting that subscribe button. And if you're already a viewer, welcome back. Well, we got a very interesting episode of dealing with garden critters for you today, and it has to do with rabbits. But instead of showing you how to keep rabbits out of your garden, we're going to show you what to do if you already have rabbits in your garden. So stick around. Welcome back. So a very common critter that gardeners have to deal with in their gardens are rabbits. Rabbits, as cute as they may be, they can be the biggest problems for gardeners because rabbits can get anywhere in your garden. They are small enough, they move around quick enough that caged area, that doesn't matter. They will find a way into your area and they will just munch away at all your fruits and vegetables, and they're really a big pain for gardeners. And you see me in this series trap other animals like raccoons and groundhogs, but trapping rabbits is kind of almost pointless. It's kind of like trapping squirrels. There's just so many in an area that kind of trapping it is pointless. I would be trapping every day, and it just and then what are you going to do with them as well? So unlike raccoons and groundhogs, they're very territorial, so there'll only be a couple in your area, and once you get rid of them, you're good for a while. But rabbits, they just multiply, kind of like squirrels. They just keep multiplying, so it's very hard to keep up with that. I mean, you can try, but I gave up on that years ago. And but like I said, this episode is not going to be about how to deal with rabbits getting into your garden. It's about what happens if a rabbit plants a nest in your garden. Now, a very common place that rabbits like to dig their nests are in grassy areas because usually the ground is pretty soft there. They can dig a shallow hole for the younglings, and they can use the dead grass that they dug up to cover it up. Now, a sure way of seeing that if you have a rabbit's nest is that you'll have a clear grassy area, and you'll see a small pocket of built up dead grass and where it shouldn't be. And that's usually a sign that you have a nest there. Now, as I've talked about in other videos, our ground here is pretty shaly, so rabbits have a tough time digging in it. And where they do dig in the grassy areas at times, but what we found in our area is they like to go for planter beds where the soil's a little softer and it's easier for them to dig around, to dig in there. Now, Jackie was here in the canna garden, and she was tending to some of the cannas, and out of nowhere, she kind of looked around under our Pretoria canna here, and look at all this dead grass built up. And she's seen this so many times, she was like, oh boy, got another one. Even though we have a lot of bark in the area to stop from weed growing, this dead grass doesn't belong here. So she knew that there was, she called me over right away. And actually you can see some fuzz here too. What rabbits like to do when they dig their nest, they pull a lot of hair off of their fur off their body, and they line their nest with it for their younglings to keep them warm. And then what they do is they come and they cover them back up with sometimes dirt, and but mostly the dead grass. And this is to obviously deter any predators from getting at them. Now, rabbits, when they're born without a scent. So predators, so that predators won't come after them. They won't seek them out that way. And also, they're instinctively, they know not to move around too much inside their, or maybe the mother's telling them, I don't know, not to move around too much in the nest, and definitely not to make any noise because that'll attract predators. Now, generally a rabbit will have about 2 to 8 in their litter. And like I said, they dig a shallow hole, they bury them in there, and mother rabbit will usually only come back about twice a day, usually at dusk, and sometimes in the morning, early in the morning when no one's around. Now, let me show you this one right here. Now, a big myth is that you can't touch a rabbit with your bare hands because the mother will abandon them. That's actually not true with rabbits. They will. Rabbits are actually, believe it or not, are good mothers. Even though they don't see their kids much, they do everything they can to protect them. And when they come to see them again, if they have a scent of humans or other animals on the rabbit, they'll usually clean them off. Now, the reason I'm wearing gloves is because you don't want to have much of your scent. When a rabbit comes, and we have some great video we're going to show you a little bit later. When a rabbit comes, it has a very short time that it feeds its younglings, and then it leaves. It's with them for maybe 5-10 minutes a day tops, because it comes, feeds them, and takes off. And it does that as to protect them, which I'll explain a little bit later. So if you have to handle them, and I'm gonna handle them just to show you, they're not really causing any problems here, but I want to kind of show you the way they are. If you have to handle them, wear gloves, because if a mother's gonna have to clean her kid, that's just more time she's gonna be wasting at her nest, and more chance that some predator might see them. So we don't want to do that. So let me bring the camera in a little closer and I'll show you. I'm gonna try not to disrupt them too much, but I'll kind of show you what to look for. Now, I know there's already 3 in here. We already saw that. So let me bring that a little closer here. And, okay, so where are you guys? Here we go. There we go. So got a nice cute one. Let me show you. I don't want to disrupt them. So they're still, I'm going to cover them up. Now, you see his eyes are open. So he's getting ready to leave the nest. I'd say within a week, but his ears are back, meaning that he's not going to, he's not ready yet. When his ears go up, that means he's ready to get out there, but he's almost there. But this guy, and now they jump around a lot, so try not to handle him too much. I'm gonna try to, but this guy looks pretty healthy, like nice thick stomach here, you know, and they're doing pretty well. It looks pretty, they'll hop around. They're crazy. I'm gonna try to put this guy back and explain a little more. He's probably a little scared. I'm covering this up because I don't want the other ones to jump around. They're like Mexican jumping beans. I know. We're gonna put you back. Okay, I don't want you to be bothered. Now, I know the mother is around. We're actually doing this a little earlier. I don't want to do this. I'm just going to cover them up just to calm them back down again, but I just wanted to show you what to look for. Now, I know the mother's around because we actually saw, and she came last night and fed them. Like I said, we have some video we're going to show you in a minute. What to do if you have rabbits in your garden. If you have a nest like this, if it's not a bother to anything, it's really not a bother here in Garden East. The best thing to do is nothing. And the reason why is because, like I said, you don't want to draw attention to a nest. You never know what could be watching, what kind of predator or anything like that. Like I said, a mother's going to still come back to her nest. Doesn't matter if you were touching them, even if you licked them. Don't do that. They're going to come back. So if they're still around, because you never know what could happen with what could happen out there. So if you see a nest and you're not sure if the mother's coming for them or not, a good way to, I'm going to tell you if they've calmed down. Good, they calmed down. Good. A good way to determine, see if they leave it covered, like if you mess with it, cover it back up, make sure they're totally covered, okay? And if you want to know, like the next day or the day after, if the mother is coming back, you'll want to just real simple trick to find out if they're coming back is grab some twigs and just put them on top of them, light twigs. Don't put anything too heavy, and kind of put them in a little bit of a pattern that you know, like, I don't know, a tic-tac-toe pattern or something. I don't know. Just so that, there we go. So that you know. So, because when the mother comes, she's gonna disrupt everything to get to her kids. The kids are gonna just come up underneath, start suckling on her, and she's gonna cover them back up, and she's gonna take off. So you'll know. So if I come in the morning and I see that this is disrupted but still covered up and they're still in there, I know the mother was there, and that's an easy way. Now, what to do if you've done this for several days and the mother's not coming back. Now, like I said, there could be a bunch of reasons. Mother rabbits are actually very good mothers, even though they can't spend too much time with their kids. And the reason that is self-preservation. They want to make sure nothing's getting at their kids. But like I said, the mother rabbit could have gotten hit by a car, could have gotten attacked by a bigger predator or something like that. There's a lot of reasons why the mother's abandoned the nest, but it is not because she's being a bad mother. It's just because she can't come back, or she still senses danger in the area. So she might not come back for a day or two. If she comes back at dusk and sees that there's stuff around, she won't come back because she doesn't want to draw any attention to the nest, and which is a good thing because you never know what could be watching her. When rabbits come, and like I said, you'll see this in the video, when rabbits come in an area, they'll spend a long time checking out the area to see if there's anything around before they come, any humans or animals, any other animals around, before they actually come to their nest. Now again, what happens after several days? You see that the mother's not coming back because it's been several days. Well, that's kind of a judgment call. Every town is different. If there's a place that you can take them to, that's great. If you want to try to nurse them yourself, that's a very difficult thing, and chances are you're probably not going to have too much luck with that. About 2 years ago, we found the nest, and it was weird, really weird. It was over in Garden West, and it was right in the open. Odd place for them to for the rabbit to have her nest, and so we and I know the rabbit was around because one night we had a whole group of people here. We were having an outdoor movie night, and across the street, I can see the rabbit there looking. It was like around dusk, and looking at the area and saying, whoa, okay, wait for these people to leave so I can come in there. So we knew that the mother was still around or alive at that point. So we set up our trail cam to catch it, and she didn't come back that night. Or for several nights, for like 5 nights, she didn't come back. And so we took a look at them, and rabbits were getting very skinny. So we did everything we can. We kind of took them in. It was getting cold, so we took them in. We put them in blankets. We read on a bunch of information on how to care for little rabbits and baby rabbits, and they were pretty young, a lot smaller than this. Brought the litter formula, the syringes to feed them, and and did everything we could, and unfortunately, they didn't make it. It's very difficult, so if you want to take on something like that, do that at your own risk. And if you have kids and you're showing them this, just be ready for a little heartache. That sounds terrible, but it's the truth. Maybe if you want to try to nurse them to health, then maybe do it without your kids knowing, which is another good thing I forgot to mention. If you do have a nest, don't tell your kids about it, because they're going to be bugging you every day to come look at the rabbits. And I know it's human nature. You're going to bring your kids to see them, and it's it's cool. You definitely want to. It's an interesting thing for kids to see how nature works and everything. But like I said, they're going to be bugging you every day, and then God forbid they don't make it. It's just use your judgment on how you want to deal with that. So like I said, we we actually, once we found the nest yesterday, we grabbed our trail cam and we set it up so we can see if the mother was coming last night or not. And some really cool footage. And at one point, you'll see me walking to the garden as the mother was nursing. It's pretty funny. So let me cut to that.
So as you watch this video, it's going to seem like the rabbit's moving at a normal pace, but she's actually going very slow. I have this sped up to about 1,000% from the point that she enters the garden to the point where she gets to the nest is about 20 minutes or so. It even actually switched into the night mode, my trail cam, because she was taking so long. And now I'm going to slow it down to about 500% when she gets on the nest, and you'll see all the kids coming up instinctively. They'll come up, she takes them out, and right away they just start suckling away at her. It's a little slower, obviously, but you see them going away at 500% speed. And you can see if you can make that out, the kids start kicking at her stomach. That's to get the milk flowing, because this all has to happen really quick, because right now she's exposed. And as it goes along, you're going to see the lights switch. You can see it start getting a little brighter. You see that? That was me turning on the lights, and I start coming over from the house into the garden, not knowing that she was there. I was just going to check on the trail cam, and there I am over there, and look at her, she goes running off. She knows that, a predator was close. She had to take off. The kids are still right there, but then eventually they'll sneak back into the nest. And I stayed around for a little bit because I could see her on the other side of the fence. She was waiting for me to leave, and then just ended it there.
Isn't that amazing what how many precautions a mother rabbit has to take in order just to see her younglings for maybe 5 minutes a day, maybe 10 if she comes in the morning as well? I guess a lot of animals in nature have to do everything they can to protect their nests. But if you think about it, there's no animal more hunted than the rabbit. I mean, humans go after them, dogs go after them, all kinds of birds do, falcons and eagles and owls and crows even. There's a lot of wild videos out there. You can see birds attacking rabbits' nests, and obviously foxes and all kinds of animals out there. And I guess that's why they're called Prince with 1,000 Enemies. You know, doing this video, when I saw the nest, it kind of made me think of an old video that I guess video that I saw years ago when I was a young kid, and it was called Prince with 1,000 Enemies. And what it was and it was obviously make believe. It was more like a fable, and it talked about when rabbits were the apex predators of the world until they angered the gods, and then they became the most hunted animal, and it's a really and became Prince with 1,000 Enemies. It's a very interesting video. I'm gonna leave a link to it at the end of this one. It's very old, but it's a cartoon, but it was great. Just want to warn you. I grew up in a different time, and the video is not violent at all. It's like I said, it's a cartoon. I actually watched it as a young kid, very young, on a after-school series on Nickelodeon called Dusty's Treehouse. If anybody remembers that, please leave a comment below. Don't make me feel too old. And it was meant for very young kids, and they showed the video. But times have changed, and I don't want to recommend something that you might not want your kids to see. So I think it's only about 5 minutes long, or not even. So take a look at it first, and if you're cool with it, then show your kids. But it's interesting. It just kind of shows you or has an explanation why rabbits are the most hunted animals in all the world. So anyway, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. Remember, if you see a nest, try not to do anything at all. I know it's hard, but they're so cute, and I get that. But probably the best thing for you to leave them, and whether they survive or don't, that's part of nature. So kind of make peace with that. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. We would love to hear from you. And be sure to hit like and subscribe and ring that bell. So from all of us here at J&D Gardens, Until next time, remember, yes, we can.